Cool. So we had a little interlude there. We were showing us the crystal of the Cleanslate and how beautiful it looks, and how there's different sizes to them. I think you're up to date. And the graphene oxide, the iron oxide, very dark and horrible looking. And it's nice of you to you could see on the video sweeping up and coming by and attracting itself to it and eating it up almost.
Yeah, totally. It's just amazing. Can you? Have I shared the screen with you well? Can you see?
We can't currently. I've put you on for shared screen.
Let me just go and share screen. Okay.
There we go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so we're down here somewhere. Yeah, wonderful. So, I mean, this was another crystal up close, 1,600 times the Cleanslate crystal. There. So you can see different shapes and sizes to them.
Yeah.
Oh. I've got so many different photos of different crystal shapes now from Cleanslate. Yeah, just beautiful. I don't know
how come it's purple? Did you dye it purple?
No, it just when you look at things under the magnification, when you photograph it, just these colors just seem to come through. It just depends on the time of day and the light. But there is always this purple hue around these crystals when you zoom in on them, because at a distance you don't see that. But once you zoom in, it just, you know.
Interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting. Yeah. And then the other thing that was interesting when I put Cleanslate under the microscope and I left it for a few hours was that we talk about things having an intelligence, you know, at quantum level, you know, at those small particles. And where are we? I left it, they seem to form lines, and the crystals seem to line up on the lines. That was the other amazing thing about Cleanslate. So I don't know if you've seen the video before, but can you see how this line is formed?
There's a straight line there of something in between the three crystals. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. And then the crystals seem to like to gravitate, the big ones, on the line. And I think this is the video, the next one here. Yeah, so.
What are those lines? Are they ley lines? What's the explanation you got for that? Or do you think?
It's difficult for me to explain, but Dr. Christina Rahm did explain it, and she was just saying basically it's the way that Cleanslate is prepared. You know, it goes through it's a proprietary blend, and the process is very unique. So she does things like, you know, plays music, sings. She does all different things that anyone else would probably think is a bit strange. You know, adding in frequencies, etc. So she was explaining that this is like it's on a quantum level. We don't often see things at this level, so we easily dismiss it as being woo-woo or what have you. But to be honest with you, I'm going to show you something else that I've looking at another product under the microscope, which is a flower essence remedy, and how I witnessed these molecules having an intelligence. And you'll see, you can make up your own mind when I show you. But I was blown away, and the company that asked me to look at their product was blown away as well. Yeah, just going back to Cleanslate. So when these weren't sort of moving around, but they did sort of like, they were trying to organize themselves, it would seem.
Wow.
So this is the video.
Okay, so this is at 200 times magnification. I just wanted to show you. So I put the Cleanslate on a slide probably about 3 hours ago, and I left it. And I've come back and I can see that all these lines seem to have formed, which I don't really understand. And all the beautiful zeolite crystals follow the line. Can you see? They seem to want to be on the line. Keep going on. You can see the line I'm talking about, this one here. And there they go, they're on the line. I've never seen anything like this. It's like this. It's a structured line they've created. And they're just so beautiful. I just thought, I took 10 drops myself this morning, and I almost cried because I thought, this is inside me. And they're this beautiful ultraviolet blue light emanating from these crystals. I just thought it was so special. Look, can you see the lines?
it's a little bit blurry because when you're trying to trace them, you know, are you moving and it blurs up. But these crystals just kept following on lines.
How amazing.
Yeah.
Like an army of health. They've organized themselves. Yeah, they've organized themselves to like target to go right at an structure. Like crazy.
Yeah. It's fascinating. When you look at things at this level, you know, microscopic level, you discover it makes you just realize the world is magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, see things on face value all the time, but yeah, when you look in depth like this, it's amazing. So yeah, I was telling you about this other product. Let me just quickly show you. I haven't shown anyone else this video before.
Oh, yeah.
So this is first.
Got the exclusive.
Now, let me just explain. I was asked to look at this particular flower remedy under the microscope. So the remedy is just made of water and flower energy essence, okay? So when we look at things like this, we don't usually see an awful lot. We just see little molecules. What was interesting about this product was already the molecules were sort of like, some of them just stick to the slide a bit. You can see there's sort of like swirling patterns in this particular remedy. And there was molecules sort of dancing around all over the place, just going with the flow, you know, because underneath the slide, there is some flow of liquid, you know, it flows around. But there was a few molecules that seemed to have intention and they were doing their own thing. They weren't just going with the flow. So I'm just going to show you now. And they look like little blobs, little bright blobs. This one had stopped moving. So there was another molecule that kept coming back. Can you see?
Yep.
He's like,
looks like a sun.
And I'm thinking, am I imagining this? So I'm still watching it, videoing it. I thought, oh, okay, he's gone. And then he comes back. He goes off. So and I just thought, okay, he's not going. He's coming back to see this molecule that's still. It seems to hover like a UFO, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what he's going to do? He's going to bump into it. He's like, come on,
being
move.
very curious.
Yeah. And he goes running up, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no, nothing's happened, I'm off. Now that molecule was not going with the flow, you know, it has an intention with what it was doing.
Yeah, like consciousness almost, yeah.
It was just so amazing. And I think this is what's so wonderful about this work that I'm doing, because I get to see things like this that most people wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect to see something like that.
No.
Moving from a flower remedy if you bought it off the shelf in a health food store.
You'd expect a randomness, not like an order. Everything's just random pinging and just random. Not like a intelligence that's sort of like an animal or a human, like going in there or like thinking about things. Yeah, around curiosity almost.
Yeah, it does appear that way, and you know, they say at quantum level, anything at quantum level has its own intelligence. So I've seen the lining up in the Cleanslate product. I've now witnessed this in a flower remedy product. You know, so we know, and it's as we were saying earlier, it's like Dr. Bruce Lipton. He says that you know all healing is to do with intention. If you believe, you know, your intention can affect your cells. And when I was watching that unfold, as it was sort of circling it, I said to myself, I think it's going to bump into it. And the next thing it did was it did that big run up and bumped into it. I thought, did I just cause that with my intention? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the slit experiment where they prove that intention can change outcome at molecular level. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but it's a very interesting.
Through quickly for people.
Pardon?
Do you want to run that through quickly for people?
Yeah, so basically it was an experiment that was done. Don't quote me on all the details of it, but you know, the conclusion is that the observer observing molecules can change the outcome of you know, whatever that molecule is going to do by putting its intention your intention onto that molecule. If you look it up, SLIT experiment, SLIT, then you can discover more about that experiment. But it's basically confirming what Bruce Lipton says, that if you have an illness and you can just put your intention onto your cells at cellular level and have that intention that you're healing yourself, then there's a good chance that you will. And I think this is kind of what we see at this level under the microscope. There's an intelligence there that we're just not aware of.
Yeah, that's mental. I like it. The micro and macro. The cells are always working in your favor. I mean, I guess that's another affirmations and beliefs. If you feel you can't heal, you're gonna find it harder than if you do really believe you can heal. The power of the mind is quantum too, I guess. In a positive sense.
Very fascinating.
Mm.
So I was blown away by that one, to be honest. That was just crazy.
That was metal, yeah.
And then what else have we got here? I mean, we're looking at, you were asking about blood cells, healthy blood cells, and blood cells with, elements of toxicity within them. So when we're looking at blood cells, these are what healthy blood cells look like. They should be just moving and bouncing off each other.
Here's my blood this morning. I did take 2 drops of Cleanslate last night, but I just wanted to show my before and after blood sample. I'm going to take 10 drops of slate now. And
that's healthy blood. And I was doing a before and after taking Cleanslate to see whether it did actually change the zeta potential.
Yeah.
So the zeta potential is when you have a number of different molecules in a solution, especially with the blood, red blood cells should have a negative charge on the outside of the red blood cells. So they bounce off each other. They're not going to be attracted and stick and cause blood agglutination. And I wanted to see what Cleanslate did because it is so highly negatively charged. So this was the second video. And then you can see that there is more movement. From the first video. Now my blood's pretty good, to be honest. So, but it did soup it up, which is very similar to drinking the oxygen water. It has a very similar effect, because the oxygen water also soups up the net negative charge on the outside of the red blood cells.
Got ya. So it's less sticky and more free flowing and smooth, is it? Kind of like
Exactly, which is how blood should be. Now, I see so many people's blood, and if your diet's not that great, if you're dehydrated, you drink a lot of caffeine, you're taking medicines, you're having a lot of sugar, all these things, it does affect the blood flow. It affects your blood. So the more alkaline you are, the more natural your diet is, the more exercise you do, you have a better blood flow. And it really does correlate. And this example, so you can see from the previous sample, this is somebody's blood after having a shot.
The vaccine?
Yeah. This was taken from the site in the arm 24 hours later. So you can see that toxicity within that area, the red blood cells are compromised. The beautiful membrane edge, which should be smooth so everything flows lovely, is now puckered. It's what we call poikilocytes. It's a lot of puckering, and it's not going to be delivering oxygen and taking away nutrients how it should be, doing its job basically, and taking away carbon dioxide. So blood like this will show, it's compromising the body, because the blood is the river of life, basically. If your blood's not healthy, then you're not going to be having healthy tissue either. So for me, looking at people's blood is always so intriguing. And this is the same person at his peripheral blood sample. So it wasn't just at the site. The cells were affected. This is from the finger prick sample.
Oh, so not at the local levels. I get it. So not localized, just another area.
So this was the same person on the same day, but I've taken it now from his finger. So it takes 1 minute for red blood cells to go around the body. So we're just picking up on a random little drop of blood, and you can see that the blood cells are affected, in his circulation. It's not just at the site.
Wow. So one drop of poison goes all around the body very quickly.
Very quickly. And, it takes 120 days for red blood cells to renew in the body. So you're looking at a good sort of 3 to 4 months really for cells to replace. And meanwhile, you've got, all these cells out doing their job properly. So yeah, a lot of compromises. And then I've been looking at, this is another sample of blood that's agglutinated. It's what we call the blood cells sticking together. So when someone's diet isn't really up to scratch, as I said, there's element of toxicity within their system, they're having multiple medications, etc. The blood can be affected quite quickly and easily. And this is a blood picture we don't want to see. Again,
Smoking too, right? Smoker's blood.
Yeah, smoking. Yeah, much alcohol.
Too much alcohol.
Yeah. All of these things. And this person here, you can see there's sort of like cobwebby effect in the background.
Yeah.
So when we have an element of inflammation in the system, when we have a blood test, we may look at C-reactive protein or erythrocyte sedimentation rate, ESR, which shows that the liver is giving out acute phase proteins, which shows us an element of inflammation in the system. So this is what it's showing. The body's dealing with some toxicity, basically.
Wow.
And these fibrin formations are very sticky, so they can cause the blood to stick. So you sort of like it's a catch-22 situation, I mean, inflammation is good to a point because inflammation helps to heal. But if you have chronic inflammation that's going on and on, then we can get into a lot of problems there.
Got you. So you want to have dark there, not this white stuff in between the red blood cells, which are already clumped together. There shouldn't be that white cobwebby look things in a healthy person. Yeah.
That's clear. We shouldn't be seeing all of that in the blood. And again, this is just another client with similar picture. So I've been seeing a lot of these profiles over the last couple of years.
Is that, I mean, I don't know if you can say, is that normal on average people? Is that an average person or I don't know.
I mean, usually I wouldn't see blood like this unless somebody, was really compromised, unwell, and seeing clients, if their diet wasn't great, if they didn't exercise, if there are multiple medications, then yes, I would see this type of thing. Or if they're suffering from a condition, where there is ongoing inflammation, then we would see the blood looking like this.
But yeah.
But I'm seeing blood look like this more and more over the last 2 years, unfortunately.
I see.
So when we have these elements of the blood sticking together, we have the fibrin in the background. Then we have also thrombocytes, which are platelets grouping together as well. The little cloudy areas here. Then we've got an element of thrombosis going on, blood clotting.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we grade that between 1 and 5. How bad is the erythrocyte aggregation? How bad is the fibrin formation? How bad is the thrombosis, the thrombotic condition of the platelets? And if we had a 5 rule, then we're towards a blood clot. So it's been quite interesting over the last couple of years seeing a lot of blood looking like this. Yeah. But we've got solutions to that, because we know that the protocol, for example, going back to the root program, root protocol with the Trinity, with the Cleanslate, which helps remove toxicity, right? Which the toxicity is causing a lot of this. And also with the Restore, which is anti-inflammatory, and also the Zero In, which has some anti-inflammatory, nutrients in it as well. Those 3 together work really well at helping to clear a lot of this. I'd also add some proteolytic enzymes into the mix, because that helps to go around eating up proteins that shouldn't be in the plasma. So, yeah. And so So when people come to see me for live blood analysis, I also do dry blood analysis.
Mhm.
But I put this up here because not everyone can get to see me. You know, I'm based in St Albans, Hertfordshire, but you can actually send off for a dry blood analysis. So that's looking at, whereas live blood analysis looks at cellular morphology, dry blood analysis looks at coagulation morphology. So we're able to see things that we see in live blood analysis, but just on a slightly different picture. But it picks up on a lot of conditions because there's a big difference between healthy sample and an unhealthy sample of dry blood, just as there is with free-flowing blood and a live blood and, you know, sticky blood, live blood. So we're able to see this slightly differently on the slide, but it picks up on a number of conditions that are possibly present, you know, such as heavy metal toxicity. We will see that, viral load, parasites, oxidative stress. We will pick up on all of that. So for example, we would see, can you see these dark lines on the outside of this blood sample? This is showing an element of heavy metal toxicity.
Oh, wow. Huh.
So if we saw that, then we may want to go on to do a standard laboratory test just to confirm that and what heavy metals are present in that client. This, for example, when we see these spikes coming out, these are viral spikes. So somebody who's dealing with a virus in their system, which is really your body cleaning itself out, you know, cellular debris. But this will show up as viral spikes. And here, we shouldn't see any gaps. We should just see the red blood cells together with fibrin. The fibrin's a good thing in dry blood analysis. We shouldn't see any gaps. These are called polymerized protein puddles. So this shows an element of oxidative stress within this person, toxicity. And for example, here also, this is a bowel picture. So when we see this dark area inside the middle of the sample.
You say bowel? Bowel.
Yeah, this is the bowel picture.
Bowel
so
picture.
for someone who has bowel issues, we will see a picture like this in the center of the sample. So there's a lot that we can pick up on dry blood analysis as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that looks super cool. I know you sent me one, and if you're up for it, we'll can you send me another one? If I can't find my one, I'll redo it and I'll do the pinprick.
Sure. You're going to do it this time?
I will do it. Yeah, I've got to. I mean, I was going to do it before, but I'm super motivated to do it because I'm fascinated by. I didn't expect all this. I mean, I'm excited. If the audience is not excited by this, I mean, this is what we live for. This kind. I'm like you. This is it. Because we're all. I'm not perfect with my health. I've always got work to do, but looking after my cells and focus on it is really going to help me maximize myself. And, you know, we all take for granted these tiny things because we can't see them, but they make a difference. All the little things we do wrong, the little things we eat that we shouldn't, they all affect them and toxins. So it's amazing. This really loving it.
Well, health is wealth, right? You know, it's if you don't have your health, then it doesn't matter how much money you've got.
Yeah.
And it's just, what was I going to say just then? But it's so true, you know, we just don't see these things on such a microscopic level. I always say, as long as your diet is sort of 85% good, you know, you can have the odd treat.
Yep. Yeah.
It's good to do that and enjoy our life as well. Not to get too hooked up on things. I'd love to see your blood though. It would be really interesting to see what pictures come.
Yes,
you know,
I might. Well, I might scoot a little bit because I might be motivated to do a fast and some aged urine. The thing is, I'd love to do an experiment with you, maybe with the aged urine too. I mean, just that I could do you before and afters because I already know it's powerful. I don't need the evidence, but I know the aged urine community would love it.
I was going to suggest that actually, to look at some urine under the microscope, which I've never done actually, and then look at aged urine. And then, comparing it with doing different things in between. It'd be quite an interesting experiment.
Yeah, I'll do it. I've got some very old stuff. We'll do that.
Sandy will be laughing.
Sandy will love it. He's done it age 2, as you know.
Yeah, I know. I saw the video. Yeah. So I think we covered everything that's, was there any other thing you wanted to look at?
No, I found it all completely fascinating and blown away. This is I thank you so much for showing us all this and the work. And let's reschedule for more of these. But before we leave, actually, there is one thing. Can you give people, because if they want to do this dry blood analysis, and I will do one, but in the meantime, if they're interested, how would they contact you for this? And
Oh, so yeah, they can email me, and then I can send them the kit. And basically, what you do is you'll receive a kit, and you have to you'll receive a lancet. Inside your kit is a little lancet. So you just have to prick the end of your finger. It's so quick and painless, but people seem to get really hung up on it. And then you'll also receive a special slide holder and 3 slides. And I just need you to send 2 samples back to me. So you prick your finger, all the instructions are inside the test kit, and you just have to press your finger on the slide 8 times, just going down the slide. You know, the blob will get smaller and smaller, and then you would just dry that. Then you would do 1 more prick and redo the test again. Yeah.
Oh wow, so easy. Yeah.
So simple, so easy. It takes a few minutes. Yeah.
Awesome. Send to you, and then within a few days to weeks, you get the result and give it to them.
Yeah, that's right. So you'll send it back in the slide, in the container with the envelope, the prepaid envelope's all in there.
Got
If you're
you.
in the,
Is
if
it
you're
like
not in the UK, then you have to send. There's no prepaid envelope. It's not possible.
Got you.
So you just have to send it back to me. But if you're in the UK, it's all included in the kit.
Oh, perfect. And is it like a grade of health, like I mean, it's not a doctor's checkup, which I don't believe in anyway, but it's like, is it great? Do you grade it, or you just say yes, no? Is it like you haven't got this, you haven't got that? Or it's like a level, you kind of judge?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Exactly. So every anomaly is graded between 1 and 4. So yeah. So we can see if there is oxidative stress present, for example. This used to be called the oxidative stress test, but it's far more than that.
Oh.
So if there is, for example, as I said, oxidative stress present, then I'd grade that between 1 and 4, you know. And we can look at the lymphatic system as well, you know, how clogged the lymph system is.
Oh.
A lot of people have lymphatic congestion without really realizing it. So it's really important to do lifestyle hacks to get that working as well, and maybe more hydration. A lot of people go around quite dehydrated.
Yeah.
Because lymph can become very thick, you know, and viscose even, you know, unless you keep it flowing.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so everything gets graded, and it's just another insight into your health, really.
Yeah. It's a true checkup. It's a true checkup on your health on a deep level that you can't argue with and say, oh, but it might be this, might be that. No, it's just foolproof, which I love. Evidence of where you are at currently in health so that you can work on. It gives people motivation, this stuff, to change it in the future. You've got a marker to change. You can, and you, of course, if they've done one with you and they've got a level 3 or 1, surely within a few months to a year, they'd be interested in, if they've got any sense, to redo one and work on improving in the meantime, so that they've got, you know, they can improve their health and show through results for your dry blood analysis that they've improved.
Yeah, 100%. I always give suggestions as well. I offer solutions. You know, if something's highlighted, then I'll give suggestions, obviously, and you know, specific nutrients I feel would benefit that client, and diet hacks and lifestyle hacks. So,
Got ya. All right. Thank you so much, Caroline, for your time, and thank you everyone for watching. It's Holistic Health Harry with Caroline Mansfield. Thank you very much.